Hey everyone, and welcome back. So it's been a little bit. We had a break. I was gone for about 10 days or such. Much needed, but we're back. And what better way to start out the beginning of December than with a updated Cyber Dragon deck list? This is going to be more of a standard build, machine dupes in there, not trap heavy. I will have a trap build coming soon, and we'll talk about how I actually play it out and what I do with it, and maybe show some test games too. I've seen people asking about how to actually play the trap build, not just um, for a deck list. So we'll work on that. We have the Cyber Synchro. I'm just about done collecting replays for it. And also we have our hand trap guide, or not a guide, our hand trap tier list, if you will. Should be dropping in a couple days. How to beat Lyrilusk Tri-Brigade also coming very soon. So without further ado, let's jump on into our Cyber Dragon December 2021. Let's finish out the year strong. So like I said, we're playing dupe, so you're going to play 3 Cyber Dragon, 3 core standard, and just about any Cyber Dragon build, 3 Cyber Dragon Hers. I've debated 2 of these. For now we're going to leave in the 3. 1 Naxter, again I debated 2 of these, but I go back and forth between 2 and 1, and at the moment I am really liking playing just the 1. It's not necessarily needed. 2 is not wrong by any means. It's just you don't necessarily need to, and I wanted to fit in a bunch of other cards. And I didn't feel like going to 41, but there'd be nothing wrong if you wanted to play the same list and play 41. I saw someone asking about how many cards should Cyber Dragon play too, and I don't think there's really a correct answer to that. Like, people say 40, 40, 40, but like if you play 40 and someone else plays 42 and they added in, say, 2 Pot of Prosperity, their deck is more consistent than yours because they added in basically 2 Searchers and they have a less chance of seeing their bricks now. It's just it changes the way the deck slightly plays. Like, say you're playing 40, they play 42, and they add in 2 Ash Blossom, your deck's going to be more consistent because they didn't add in 2 consistency cards. So if you're going over 40, you got to think about that. Like, if I'm going to go, say, 44, add 3 consistency cards, 1 non-consistency card, like a hand trap, and try and keep those ratios pretty similar, like along those lines. Because otherwise, like, if you add in too many extenders or starters, your deck's just going to lose consistency. And if you add in not enough of those going second cards or hand traps, you're not going to see them as often either. So if you try to keep the same ratios, you could theoretically go to like 50, 60 cards and the deck will still be just as consistent. I mean, the downside being Cyber Dragon lacks the starters to really do that, but like, that's just kind of my take on how many cards should you be playing. The 2 Galaxy Soldier, we tried 3, but with dupe I really do like just the 2. Searchable Kaiju, you pretty much have to play it. Too bad we can't search out the Gandarla, the Wind Kaiju, because it's a little bit better with the Wind Barrier lock. But nonetheless, we do have a searchable Kaiju, so why not play it? We did move on from Dragoon to the Enforcer package, so that means Celestial and Dasher. Dasher, when you draw in your next turn, if it's a monster, you can reveal it and then special summon it because of Dasher. And if you have no cards in your hand, you can banish Celestial and Dasher from your graveyard and draw 2 more cards, so it just offers a nice little follow-up plays. 3 Drone Lockbird, in my opinion, probably one of the best hand traps of the format. Again, subscribe, like, share, stick around, that video coming in a couple of days. Drone Lockbird, I really like these blowout hand traps. I like the hand traps that aren't just a 1-for-1 trade-off. I like the hand traps that can shut off your opponent's turn, and it pretty much hits all the top decks to a degree at least. It's not dead versus Sword Soul, it's not dead versus Flunder, versus Tri-Brigade, versus Lyrilusk, versus Invoked. It's not dead. Like, it at least does something that'll stop at least 1 card in pretty much every matchup. So I do really like Drone Lockbird. 3 Cyber Emergency, 1 Repair Plant, 3 Machine Dupe. That's all going to be pretty standard. Without Dragoon, I don't think you need the Rev system. And I know you can still say, well, it's a 1-card Phoenix Enforcer, but 1-card Phoenix Enforcer is not as scary as 1-card Dragoon is. So I don't think it's worth running the card that's like Rev system. That's debatable if you should even play it anyway. So without Dragoon, I don't think that Rev system is worth it. the one Fusion Destiny, and then our going second cards. Like I think going second cards are way better than hand traps, and I'll explain that a little bit better in the other video. And we're also working on a going second card video, like just kind of showing which ones are the best and why. 3 chalice, 3 droplet, it's become pretty standard throughout the format to play these, because you can use them to negate your opponent mid combo on your turn. Um, so like obviously you can set them and use them as extra disruption on your opponent's turn, but like once you start comboing off, you put a monster on board, so Imperm's dead, Gamma's dead, things like that, but you can still use Chalice and Droplet mid combo to protect you when all of a sudden they try to, you know, summon out Wind Statue on your turn, when they summon out Mega Rise on your turn, when they summon out the Tri-Brigade Omen on your turn. You can still use these cards and negate their effects, so that way you don't get disrupted as much. And I've been on Chalice for a long time, but now Forbidden Droplet is getting reprinted, so it's still gonna be crazy expensive, but less crazy expensive. And if you can play them, I would recommend playing 3 and 3. Dark Ruler No More does replace Droplet to a degree. The only difference is it only negates what's already on the board. You can't negate them like mid summon, mid combo, things like that. Triple Tactics. This card's I wouldn't play it in a going first deck because hand traps are seeing so much less play. But in a deck that wants to go second, like Cyber Dragon, people put out monsters on board, so a lot of the time they will be activating a monster effect, and then you can use Triple Tactics and take a monster, break their board. Sorry about that. Things like that. But like going first decks, I would not recommend Talents at all, but the few going second decks out there, I do still really like Triple Tactics. 2 Lightning Storm cards, just really strong overall, mostly there for back row hate. Cybernetic Overflow, and 3 Infinite Impermanences. I like Imperm because not only can you use it on your opponent's turn, if you open it for your 6th card, you can use it and either negate something or force them to negate it right away. So that's why I do think Imperm is main deck worthy. Extra deck, the 1 Mega Fleet, 2 Fortress. There's still Zeus, we still play Kaiju, there's still Makaba, so I do really like having the 2, 1 Rampage, then Makaba, and then Tis with our 2nd Nova, because Invoke Dogmatica does see a decent bit of play, and if they use Maximus, you just send in Tis and Nova, pop a card, and then Nova also summons out Makaba. The 1 Phoenix Enforcer, so that we have 2 Nova, 2 Infinity, Zeus, card's really strong. Salmander, Almirage, Verde, and Artifact Dagda for going first, because I side 2 Fusion Destinies and Scythe, so when I'm going first I can put them in, and if you open your Fusion Destiny, it's really easy to make Artifact Dagda, and then you can set your Scythe, and Phoenix Enforcer can pop your Scythe, and now you can lock your opponent right out of the extra deck. Some things to consider: Dragoon is perfectly fine if you want to play it. I don't know if there's necessarily a right or wrong, it's just a different there's different benefits of Dragoon and Phoenix Enforcer, and when we had Dragoon, I played without Dragoon a lot anyway and liked it, wish the deck just had a little bit more, so that's why I'm playing Phoenix Enforcer, because it gives you that little bit more and it synergizes with some of our stuff, and then you can still go into it rather easy, and the fusion spell not being a brick makes it a little bit more consistent to play. If you can't afford Talents, that's fine, you don't really need it. Cosmic's a good cheap replacement for Lightning Storm, like I said. Dark Ruler No More instead of Forbidden Droplet. Otherwise, just cut the Phoenix Enforcer and play like another Cyberload and a second, or play Overload Fusion. Ooh, sorry, that is what I forgot. I knew I was missing a card. So hopefully you guys stuck around. I'll know who didn't when you're like, oh, there's no Overload Fusion. There should definitely be an Overload Fusion in there. So we'll play 41. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with going over 40 at all. So if I didn't play the Phoenix Enforcer pack, so I would cut it for another Rampage, and I would cut those 3 cards for a second Overload Fusion and a Cyberload Fusion, and probably leave it right at 40 then. If I'm not playing any additional engines, not DPE, not Dragoon, not the Trap build, not Synchro, not Orcus, I do prefer to stay at 40, just because Cyber Dragon lacks those starters and extenders, but that doesn't mean, again, that you can't go over 40. But for here today, we're at 41, since we almost went into our games without our Overload Fusion, which would have made things a little bit awkward. But so that is our updated Cyber Dragon deck for this format. Like I said, stick around for that hand trap video, and take care until next time, guys.